Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Ultimate Human Experience Podcast. This is your girl, Rashida, aka Righteous Sun, and I'm so excited for this episode. We have an amazing soul. She's my friend, she's my sis. Like the list goes on, but not only that, she's an author, she's a screenwriter. Y'all know the book Scarborough. I know y'all saw the movie. I can go on for forever. Catherine Hernandez is with us today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And please share with family and friends and those who you feel will vibe with this message. With that being said, let's get into it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I have been wanting to have you on from like probably the beginning when I started to have people on. And I thought, she's busy. Like, let me just wait. And we got together and I was like, we always have great conversations. And I was like, you need to be on an episode. And you were just like, yeah, like,
Of
sign me up.
course. No, I'd do anything for you. I love you so much. Like, you're my sister. So, yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Thank you. Okay. So please tell us all about Catherine. That's usually how I start. And I know that's a loaded
Oh my
question, but
goodness.
at the same time, if you could just like sum it up a little bit. And then, of course, at the end, we always just let spirit lead this conversation as always. So this is
Yes.
a conversation with a friend and with spirit. And yeah, this conversation is going to be great.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. I love that we're letting spirit take the reins because I think both of us live like that, right? Spirit has led us. And I guess, yeah. And, you tell that to some people, they're just weirded out. And there's a part of me that when they get weirded out, I'm like, you just wait. Wait until
Yep.
your life is sort of taking a turn for the worse, and then you just know that the only thing that you can count on at that moment is just knowing that your ancestors have done this before. You can do it too. You're gonna make it, right? But yeah, so I'm a storyteller. I just tell stories in numerous ways from, as you mentioned, books, screenplays, so like for television and film. Not so much dance anymore, but yes, sometimes theater. But yeah, and then also in visual art because I'm doing comic arts as well, and I do watercolor painting. But yeah, I just love to express myself, and just like how a lot of people are in Scarborough, they have things to say. And I'm so happy. I'm really honored to be a keeper of stories, and a teller of stories. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And I love that you mentioned Scarborough because at the end of the day, a lot of people kind of give Scarborough a bad rap. And to be honest, I really feel like when you wrote that story and you shared it, it really amplified Scarborough in a way that we Scarborough people know. Like, it's a cool place to be. Like, it's the OG, I feel like. And
Yes.
you amplified it in a way that allowed for us to be seen in a different light. And I appreciate that. How do you
Mhm.
feel for yourself being able to amplify it in a way that I really don't feel like it has ever been amplified in this way?
Wow, that's a great question. Just because, like, I got to say too, is that while I was writing the book, I mean, we were seeing each other. We were seeing each other every day, right? I miss those days. I live 3 hours east of Toronto, and I miss you so much. But yeah, we saw each other every day, and it never felt like a chore. And we were there for each other during, sad times in your life, sad times in my life, and also great times in both our lives, like times of great celebration. And that's what Scarborough's all about. We don't have fancy things. We don't have fancy things. I mean, look at Malvern Town Center. Look
Right?
at, I mean, how long we lived with the SRT, which is, I don't know why it's called rapid transit. There's nothing rapid about it. There was nothing, it's never been rapid. I could have had a horse and carriage, and that would have gone faster to get me to Scarborough Town Center. So we don't have fancy things, but what we have is a space between us. And every time, in the world where I meet someone who's from Scarborough, it's like as if boom, we're like family immediately. And it's just because of suburban wasteland. The only thing that we have is like the time that we spend with one another, the conversations we have, the meals that we share. And I'm glad to have had that with you because, we've been through some tough times and we made it through because we believed that we were going to make it. We were going to make it. We've been through worse, that the greener pastures were ahead. And every bump of the way, I just remember those times because it's misfortune happens to us on a regular basis, right? Like that's just the way the world works. It's not like everything could be great all the time. But every time, you meet any adversity, just to remember those times, like that chapter that both of us were going through, just were like, wow, what is tomorrow gonna bring? I don't know. I don't know. And you just make it through, right? You just make it through. Yeah, I think capturing that time, writing what it was like to live in precarious circumstances and what it means to hope, what it means to be there for one another, and what does success look like, right? And I'm remembering that like it's really good now, where there's financial success of like writing a book and creating a movie and now writing for television. It's just there's financial success, like what you like quote unquote success. But for me, the success is having someone like continued like having someone like you in my life, having chosen family, knowing that people speak well of you. People also that I can honor other people and speak well of them and be there for them when they need me. I feel really honored in this world to live that life. And so Scarborough does teach us that. It teaches us to recalibrate what success truly means because it's not like the money in your pocket, it's not like how big your house is or anything like that. Like the car you're driving, it really is the connections that you have with people because as we're facing imminent disaster as a human race, we're realizing that's all you have. Sure, you might have bought those new shoes, but you better get ready to run in those new shoes. Like when you're trying to find water, where you're trying to find food,
Yeah.
like all the relationships that you've built so far, that's your wealth. That's
Mm.
your wealth. I really felt like, as I was finishing that book, even before the financial success of everything, is that I was like, that I feel wealthy to have such wonderful people in my life. So yeah, yeah.
Mm, I appreciate that. Every time we get together, we always reminisce because it was good times. And
Yes.
every time I have conversation with other people or even when I'm doing the podcast, I'm I always go back to those moments because I always say that like before that, I didn't really have a chosen family. I didn't have a village around me. And I had just moved into the neighborhood, Kingston Road in Galloway. Like it's like everybody knows that neighborhood. And I was just like, I need some people around me. I'm a
Yes.
mom and like it was brand new to me, new neighborhood, new school. And we just happened to come in at, like, the right time, like, there was this parent program that happened, it had just started, and it was just, like, a place to hang out, and yeah, it was a place for the kids, and it started to become more like a place for us, like, yeah, okay, the kids were there, but we were like, "Oh, we're going today, like, I need to see my people today."
Please. Like, when you're talking about like resources for kids, the truth is they just need a tub of water with some toys in it.
That's it.
They just need the Cheerios in the cup.
That's it.
That's what they need. It's really for parents, like parents and adults who
Yeah.
are just trying to make it to 2 o'clock. Like that's all they're trying to do. They're just trying to get to nap time.
Yeah.
Like kids can learn how to play. Like, please, they have
Yeah.
the energy. The entire life is in front of them. They haven't screwed up. They haven't made bad choices. Like, please.
And honestly, like, he enjoyed every minute. And from then, like, our relationship and the dynamic in that group at the time had just like grown. And we started to foster in ways that it took it like outside of the center. And that
Yes.
was like a beautiful thing too. We got to have like dinner parties together and like chat with
Yes.
kids. Like, I love chats without children. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, remember we had all of these fantasies of like, well, they are safe playing with one another, but it's like if they can stop bothering us with the, "Oh, this kid took my toy," and, "Oh,
Right.
I I have needs. I have bodily needs, like all of their needs. Like I don't know, my diaper needs to be changed. I need to go to the washroom. But we always had like this hilarious fantasy of them being in like this plexiglass room where we could feed them the food. They can just magically have their diapers changed or
Yep,
whatever, right? And then we could just be in like these lazy boy chairs
right?
watching Netflix or whatever it
That's
might
it,
be.
and big convos and, like, yeah, that was all we really wanted. But,
Oh
like,
yeah.
that I hold it so dear because like you said, the success and the wealth is who you're surrounded by,
Yes.
and that I think people are starting to realize that they need more than they ever did before because like you said,
Absolutely.
the world is a hot mess. This world is a hot mess.
It
Like,
is. It is, and there's something wrong with you if you don't see that.
right? Like, yes, and honestly, the other day I was like, I don't like people. I'm I just don't like people and they need to stay away from me, but, like, there's certain people that I just know I can be around, and that reminds me of, like, who I am. It reminds me of my authenticity. It reminds me of how much I'm loved, how much I give love, like how much I feel that warm gooiness inside. Like that is very important to have those type of people around you when you're going
Hmm.
through something
Yes.
and not just the woes, but also the celebrations and to watch from like where we were to where we are now. It's not so much the outside for me, it's the internal, right? It's the spiritual stuff. It's the good stuff. Like, yeah, we did some our conversations were always beautiful, whether it was like above the surface talking about whatever crap that was going on, but also healing because in those conversations we were healing, we were sharing our stories, we were sharing our trauma, and in that, we were dissecting it and finding ways to support each other and then heal in the process. Like, even now still gives me goosebumps. And we still do it. We just do it like not as often, but like
Yes.
also looks different too. Like how we had those conversations then and how we have them now are like, wow, remember this? And like look at us now.
Well, like, I think also like at that time we were still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you have to like one of the things I give my both of us grace for is just like I'm sure you've experienced, like I give myself grace around like when people remember when you were like younger thinking I'm gonna have it all figured out at 20.
Yeah.
Like, I remember playing Barbies and just, like, imagining, like, myself being 20 years old. I don't know why I thought 20 years old, I'm gonna
Yep.
have the car, I'm gonna have the husband, I'm gonna have the kids, like, all the things. Nowadays, like, a lot of people aren't even finished their education. Like, a lot of people can't even afford education nowadays, you know? Um, they can't even afford to, like, find a job that is even within their fields, right? Because, eh, corporations are jerks, right?
Yeah.
So we I give ourselves so much grace that especially as two people who are racialized women who were just trying to figure things out, like what is the life that I want? What is the life that I need to have? What does like what is a relationship that I really want to have in my life? That we we were still in the middle of figuring it out, and part of that was sort of looking at each other and really understanding like, oh, there are like-minded people here that understand that spirit is moving us into a particular place, right? Like spirit obviously was in play already because we found each other, right? But that fact that we could have these deep conversations around, like I remember both of us, like I were getting our Reiki training around the same time. We were also just like dealing with heart things, with family things, like all of the stuff is that I really feel that spirit was bringing all of like the cluster of all of our friends together because we were all trying to figure things out. And obviously all of us are going at different speeds, it doesn't matter, but we had this collective goal. It's like we want to be solid in who we are. We want to curate the people around us so that things are making sense, right? Like I'm the energy around me is like I'm surrounded by people who are not dulling my shine. I'm not dulling their shine. I'm learning things. Like I'm not just like in a state of stagnation. Like I'm always learning new things, right? And I think with all of us, like we were doing that with one another, like really like positively bringing ourselves to that place for sure.
How important do you feel Reiki was to your growth? I feel like even for myself, you started Reiki first, and then I was like, "What is this Reiki? I need to follow." But I did feel like after going through the courses, as interesting as they were with the teachers that we
Mhm.
had, um, it changed. It changed energetically for me.
Mhm.
I felt like it did the same for you, but I'd like to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, and I know, and I want to hear about your journey as well. But like on my end, I think there's like a lot of, again, because both of us are racialized, where I'm like, huh, there's a little bit of like, because with my husband Nazba, who, for the people who might not know who are listening, so I married into the Navajo Nation. And as someone who's a settler, grew up in a family that, like, in a community, the Filipino community is not only anti-black, it's like there's a lot of anti-blackness, there's a lot of anti-indigeneity. Like it's intense, right? Like there's a lot of racism, and a lot of that is just because there's this idea of being like, oh, you want to be the good brown immigrants. You wanna sort of have like this adjacency to whiteness. You wanna be the good people. You wanna be hardworking. You don't wanna rock the boat kind of thing, right?
Right.
And so as a settler trying to reverse those things within myself, like actively like facing those knee jerk reactions that I have in my body. You go into a course like that and it's led by white folks. You're the only racialized person in that room. There's a lot of what we call tomahawking, like Nasba and I call tomahawking, where you're being faced with a lot of appropriation, right? A lot of indigenous appropriation. Like you have people who were, they're the first ones to bring out the sage stick and do all the things, and yet they don't believe in land back
Yeah.
movement. They don't they believe in they're not doing anything with regards to the 94 calls to action, And so what it's just what I'm saying is that it's not embodied, right? Like they're not embodied. They're people who are like, they like to like wear a culture like a costume instead of it being like a respect for a culture. And also facing whatever demons they have that that like such as racism and sexism and stuff like that. So, um, being in a course like that, it's a lot. Like you're sitting there going, I don't know how much I can take of this. But then I realized, like, okay, I can curate this myself. I've already paid for the freaking course. What do I do?
Yeah.
Like I can curate it for myself, which is that I know spirits moving through me. You might tell me, for example, hand shape. Like I was told like a certain hand shape, with like, because this is a podcast, I'm going to explain it is that, middle fingers kind of like facing each other over a body. That shape, for example, did not work for me. It just
Mm,
never worked for me. It didn't work on myself. It didn't work on anybody that I did work on. I never did it professionally. It was more like I was doing it just like as a community member, channeling people's energies for like what emotional upset was happening for them, or sometimes physical upset as well.
mm,
And the shape that I found with my hands that worked was like I was thinking, because in my mind, what I think about spirit coming through me is that it's almost like a cone
mm,
above, like almost like this massive all the way, like stretching all the way to the heavens. Like so from my head all the way to the heavens. And it's like this cone of light. And so if I think about that, then the shape that worked for me was actually creating a similar, almost like a cup shape over someone's body.
yeah.
Like, and it so that I was funneling it just
Mm,
like you would, like if you're transferring like, I don't know, coffee beans from like one container to the other. Like that was what I was imagining in my head when it comes to a spirit coming through a person. Imagery was really important to me. So if those images that they were coming up with in the course, like so for example, the fingers not touching, but the middle fingers like looking at each other, and like there was no real conversation around consent.
mm,
There was no real conversation around where are they receiving these skills from, and are we actually respecting those cultures, right? So for me, curating it was like, okay, I understand that there were so many cultures that did this kind of hands-on work, like energy work. There's so many cultures that do this. I respect those cultures. They created different shapes, different images, and I can come up with a way that it works for me.
mhm.
And so I understood that I just had to make my own experience in that group. I also understood it's like I could only go for, 2 levels, and then I was kind of done, like, with that particular group because I was like, it's really hard for me to be the only racialized person in a room
Yeah.
and witnessing, like in my opinion, like, just a great amount of racism in that room, around especially around indigenous folks, right? And yeah, that was really tough to be around, so I was like, I'm good. However, so in my second stage of learning Reiki, that entire transformation of, like, really just accepting that spirit has always been there.
Mm.
Spirit is there, spirit is speaking to you. What do they have to say? I think that really transformed me because now I walk with it and I unapologetically talk to people about it. I don't care if they think that it's weird because I think some people are thinking like, oh, you're like granola. It's a little bit culty, and I'm like, no, I don't have any power over you. You have absolute choice. And I'm just telling you what my process is because this process of accepting spirit in my life is very much a part of how I write because I allow spirit to write through me all the time. When I'm writing, I'm always working with spirit. And I can't deny that. It's just the reality. So if I'm at an author, like a literary festival, and people are like, what is your writing process? And a lot of authors are like, "Well, I get up early in the morning and I do this and blah, blah." And mine is always like, I it's a form of, mediumship. They're speaking through me. When they're not speaking through me, I just wait. That's not writer's block. It's just that spirit's not speaking through me. I need to change things in my body in order to get on their frequency so that I can write properly. And, that changed me. It really did, and it made me realize, like, if they're always there and they're always going through so much trouble to be able to send me messages, I really just have to work on myself to make sure that I'm receiving the messages as much as I can. So, yeah. But how about you? Like, how was it for you for your training? Did you like,
Um,
what was it like?
I can agree with you. It is always well, we're always the only people in the group. I think I want my sugarcoat get. We're always the only people in the group. You get to a group, there's maybe 1 or 2 people of color, always.
Yeah.
It's never anything other than that. Now it's different, I guess, but I feel like it's not in a sense, like, unless we create our own spaces. Because the truth is, we wanna be with our own people. We feel more safe, we feel more comfortable, we feel at ease to express ourselves in whichever way. But yeah, was I the only Black person? Absolutely. Many times I've been in groups where if I'm paired up with another woman of color, I'll never forget I was doing like a mediumship group and me and another woman, she was in the States and we got paired up and we were like we were so excited. We already knew without saying anything, like, girl, we're the only people. It's nice to connect. It's nice to be able to just be around someone that looks like you. But everything you said is pretty much how I felt as well. Like, realizing that spirit is with me 24/7. That is something that
Mhm.
I think it solidified it. I don't know if it, like, opened up, like, this door, this entryway, this portal for me to be like, spirit has been there all the time. I love what you said about, like, I just have to align to that frequency. That is something that I think we all tend to forget, like, if we're going through trouble or we're going through something, we're like, "Spirit, can you hear me? God, can you hear me?" Like, yeah, they can hear, like, they're listening, but, like, are you hearing them? Are you
Yes.
They're always listening, but can but with everything going on in this world and in our heads, like, are we actually listening to them? So, I think that's something where I really make spirit is 24/7 in my house, like
Yes.
all the time with the kids, with my partner, in everything that I do. I always like say, okay, what's next? What do I need to do next? Kind of thing. And it puts me at ease, right? I don't know what I would do if I didn't go through that. I think I would have gotten to that. I always feel like I would have gotten there anyway. I would have gotten to that level of hearing spirit and having spirit move through me and being able to follow whatever direction. I think that was just my path and it just kind of made it a little bit easier, I guess you can say, but mine was pretty much the same. I kind of felt like, wow, I'm the only person. And how about Rashida, you just focus on you and what it looks like for you and your
Yes.
experience? Don't worry about all the people around you. You know how powerful you are, and you just need to kind of channel that power and that energy and do it in the ways that work for you. I guess there's moments where you start in the beginning, I questioned it because you, of course, like what you said, people are very particular about how it's supposed to look. And back then, it's not to say it was back then, but like years before, now spirituality, Reiki is talked about all the time. Social media is talking about everything 24/7. People can pay thousands of dollars, which is wild to me that people
Mhm.
spend thousands on a course, but
Yes.
it is what it is for those people who feel that they are called to do it. I don't do it as often as I used to, but I utilize it for my own benefit, for my kids, for my family. And it's helped me to open up, I guess, that creative doorway as well to be able to channel whatever ideas that come into play. I make sure I pay attention to it and I follow through because I feel like
Yes.
spirit is just like, girl, what you better follow through. Right? We're working with you. Like we're a team kind of thing. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, I kind of feel like spirit is a beautiful thing. And if you can find people who you can connect with and be able to have these type of conversations, I also think it enhances your experience. I feel like these type of conversations for me like excite me and also it's like fuel.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, okay, like I am on the right path. This does feel good. And like what you said, yeah, people will be like, that's weird or that's this. But those people that say that are just as intrigued as the people who are full blown into it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that there's also a different okay, I know that there are people who have religious trauma, right?
Yeah.
And so I get that. I completely hear it where, um, it in some ways, a lot of the languaging and the energy around it could feel kind of culty,
Yeah.
you know? But it's different because having grown up in a religious household, what's so different is that in spiritual circles, I don't hear someone say, "Well, don't do that, otherwise you're gonna go to hell," or something, you know? Or, yeah, like, you're such focusing on sin and what suffering is gonna happen in the afterlife or whatever. I just love this idea that the whatever spirits are near me are just they want to express themselves so much. They have so much to offer. They have gifts for us, and we just have to listen, right? We have to I also heed to their warnings
Mm.
as well, which has happened. But a lot of times the warnings are something this is gonna happen, it's gonna hurt. I've received that. This
Yeah.
is gonna happen and let it happen. I've received those kinds of warnings and they have happened. Um, and I don't know why I would ever doubt spirit again after those things have unfolded where you're like, whoa, whoa, okay, I guess that happened, now it's like, okay, so some things where I know that they're speaking to me are, um, I will, I'll, I'll be doing things and my tarot deck all of a sudden catches my eye. It just
Mm.
catches my eye. And I know it's time for me to go read my cards. Now, when I say that, okay, Rashid, it's not like as if I'm a pro at reading cards.
Either. Either.
Yeah, I'm still just using my book or whatever. I just understand that it's like there's divine intervention in moving those cards. And the more I sort of let go, the more I'm gonna pick the cards that are meant for me. And I know that they're meant for me because like I keep on pulling the same freaking cards. And then when I feel like I've made progress, all of a sudden the cards change,
Mhm.
right? So I know that there are messages there. I know that there are times where I move into different spaces that I can sense something is there. I know, when I'm in a new like maybe an old building, and I sense certain spaces where things might have happened, and I can't be there. I try not to make their business my business because I definitely both my partner and I have issues with spirits latching on. But the ones that are my team, like my team of spirits, there's like the ones that are like, oh, they're at this house. And you have to understand, I live in rural Ontario and there are some dead ass people in every freaking house.
Every corner.
Well, like, when people are like, "Oh, it's a cute little farmhouse from the 1800s." I'm like, "No, thank you. We have a house from the 1980s that is as far back as I am willing to go. I
Yeah,
cannot. I am too sensitive to spirits." But yeah, like, I don't like, the ones that are lingering in the corners that have things to say, they might have something to say. Maybe I might listen, but they're not my business. My business are my people, like the people that are behind me. I have a lot, there's a team of people that have something to say. I'm cool with it. I can sense when they're like, no, not today. You need to rest. We have nothing to say to you right now. You just need to rest, especially because I have chronic illness, like chronic pain. And sometimes my body's like, no, uh, you can't work right now. It's, or, like your brain just you just need to focus on like moving these emotions out of you. If it's rage or whatever it is, you just need to move it through. And my spirits are always there. They're like, yeah, divine timing. I've been here for hundreds of years. Like, I'm cool. Like I have nothing to do, you
right?
know? And then other times they're like, no, really, you need to sit down. Listen, this is the thing you're gonna be writing today. And it's like right now I'm in the vein of that, which I'm always thankful when they have something to say. Like I'm in the middle of writing a graphic novel, and it's very scary just because I'm not very experienced at making comics, like I'm not. But I love how comics I don't have as many um like cultural gatekeepers.
Mhm,
Like for example, if I want to make a movie, it's a miracle. You have to
mhm.
get the funding and the script, and then the producers are like, yeah, like it's like all this. Scarborough was a very different experience because that team, we were
That's it.
together in it. It was a first time for all of us, a wild success. Um, but yeah, when it comes to comics, if I want to say something, I can make it right now. And this afternoon, you're going to know what I put in that comic. I can put it online. I can do whatever. I can print it out. I can make a zine. And that's why comics is seen as so dangerous to right wing politics is because and also that's why comics is so left is because you have these artists of conscience who are like I refuse to obey fascism and I can create the comics that I want and I can do it right now. I
Yeah.
can spread the word right now, which is so powerful. So anyway, I'm learning it. It's very new. It's a little nerve wracking because when you draw, I'm not been trained as like an artist, but I'm just learning. And a lot of comic arts is surrendering and being like, it is okay that it doesn't look like something that Van Gogh created or whatever. You're just creating an image that gives people an emotion. And that could be a stick drawing, it could be a blob, it doesn't matter. But I'm realizing it's like, I just need to say it. And my ancestors right now are just like totally cheering me on. They're like, you got this, you got this. The next page is this, the next page is this. And I go to sleep every night going, oh my gosh, I can't wait to like hit my iPad tomorrow and keep on going, keep on going. That's where I'm at right now, but it could end tomorrow. It just, I just have to let spirit go through me as much as they want to.
Yeah, I love what you said there. Allowing spirit to move through you. I'm the same, like, I get images. I'm like, "Okay, this is what you gotta do." I trust the little glimpse of an image that I see, and I say, "Okay, I gotta put forth action to that. I gotta make that come to fruition. I wanna see that in
Mhm.
form." And I love graphic novels. I love that type of creativity because, like you said, creativity, especially when it's words, you gotta come up with the imagery. But when you can see the imagery with the storyline or with the
Yes.
idea, it hits, it's like a extra punch to it. And I
Mhm.
think that's something where you can't be censored with your words because now you're seeing it in visual. You can't
Yes.
censor that visual now. Now it's being seen. It's out there for everybody to see and it's out there for everybody to ponder on. And for those who are uncomfortable with it, like, oh man, fuck it.
It is. It is. I mean, yeah, it's a discomfort, right, of creating comics. Yeah, it's so cool. It's really cool to be part of history in this way. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel like your impact and I know you're gonna be like, it's not your impact, but like the impact of your creativity, the impact of the way that spirit is moving through you to say, like, we know you have so much to say and so much to share in order to impact others, to be able to, for them to impact other people, right? Like you
Mhm.
then become that an inspiration for other people to say, like, if she can do it, then I can do it, especially as like a woman of color. Like our voices are always silenced, and
Mhm.
when we do wanna speak up, it's either pipe down. It's always been that way, right? Like, stay
Mhm.
quiet, stay, and then when we do get loud, now we're being too loud, and you're like, "What? This doesn't make any sense." But we're now in a time where I think it's more important. Like, it was important, it's always been important, but now with everything happening in social media, everything that we're seeing in real time, which pisses me off every single time. So I
Yes.
don't go on social media because like you said, I wanna rage out. We had a conversation, like, a couple weeks ago where we're like, yeah, it's comes out in our body. So when you say,
Mhm.
like, spirit is saying, like, "You need to rest," or, like, "Sit the fuck down," like, "Chill out," like, I'm listening to that much more as I'm getting older,
Mhm.
saying like, "Okay, it's okay that I'm gonna rest for the next 2 days." Like, "Oh, okay, I'm seeing it coming out in my pores, in my skin." Like, "Okay, this is interesting. I never seen this before."
Yes.
But, like, obviously, it's telling me it's that is its way of sharing its message and saying, like, "Shit doesn't feel right now, Rashida. You need to just chill out, you
Mhm.
need to rest." And when I do rest, oh, my body starts to calm down, like, my flare-ups start to just chill, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, it's really because I'm seeing all this shit all over, like, social media, and my inner child wants to come out and be like, "Everybody just stop," like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You just love each other, like, I'm
Mhm.
I'm a Libra, we want harmony all the time, we want a kumbaya, it feels so good, but we also want justice, and I think we are definitely in a time for people like us, and that who look like us to be able to share our voices in ways that are amplified
Mhm.
to impact, especially for me, and I know for you too, the younger generation, because like it's for them. I know it's for us, but I
Mhm.
look at my kids and I'm like, it's for you that I continue to jump on these podcasts and share my piece and like share my,
Yes.
my, I'm gonna say 2 cents, but it's not 2 cents, it's priceless. Okay. This is
Yeah.
money. Is there gems that we keep sharing to impact others, to wake up so that they can impact others, right? I
Mhm.
want that ripple effect. So, how do you feel for yourself to be able to be that ripple effect? Because I see that for you. Like that's who you've always
Aw.
been. Like I love you, my like family for life. That like I love to continue to watch you amplify your voice and everything that you have to say in different ways because it never comes out in one way for you. It comes out in your art, like it comes out in your watercolor, it comes out in your books, it comes out in your voice when you just share your words, it comes out in your messages. Like,
Yeah. Well, okay. Can I just because it's really important to mention when you're talking about being a Libra, I understand that tomorrow is your birthday, is it not?
yes,
Happy birthday to ya. Oh my god, happy birthday.
thank you.
And it's
Yeah.
like I told myself, remember, do not let your middle-aged brain forget when you were talking to Rashida on that podcast that it is her birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, I like these 40s.
Libra season, right?
Yeah, I like the 40s,
Yeah.
I really do, especially when you talked about, like, your 20s and, yeah, you're like, "Oh, my 20s, I'm gonna do this," and then you're like, "In my 30s, I got it, I think I can do it," and now I'm like, "You know what? It's my 40s." It really is that,
Wait,
like,
how old are you?
I'm turning 44 tomorrow.
Wow, 44.
And that's the best part too, it's like, like, if people don't think that spirit has a part to do with how great we look, like, it really does, because, like, that's what keeps me like balance. You know what I mean? Those moments where
Yes.
oh, I need to rest. I need to this. Like people are always like, wow, you look amazing. But like that is because I really do try to keep my peace. I need to keep whatever is going on in me, even though there's moments of chaos. I also want to know that in that chaos, there's still peace. And that's
Yes. You know, I'm learning the thank you. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket, Rashida, that I'm just gonna keep my peace because I'm in a stage where I'm trying as much as possible to keep
yeah.
typical as you're mentioning. This world is a hot mess. So part of keeping a peace and like right now that, when you're talking about impact of spirit, like and wow, what I feel my impact is on everyone else is that I understand that in this world, right, where we're seeing the rise of fascism worldwide, right? From what we understand, there's a Filipinx activist who had said that more than 75% of the world is under authoritarian rule, right? And we have to understand that Canada is part of that percentage. The United States is not just, it's not just the United States. Canada's under that percentage. We understand that because we are in a two-state solution. This is what it looks like. Is having people who do not have access to clean water, and their children being stolen away, and yet we have an orange shirt day, which was yesterday. And people, they love to put on the orange shirts. They love to wear the earrings. They love to, like all the things.
Yeah.
But then it's like, then just give the land back. I'm
Right.
perfectly fine with being under indigenous leadership. Anyway, but so my impact, okay, I feel like spirit blessed me with this freaking loud ass voice. Think about this.
Yeah.
Is that all right? So my dad was actually deaf in 1 year. So I think about all of the things that are put together in place, right? So my grandfather was also deaf in 1 year because of the war. My dad, so that's his son, also deaf in 1 year because of a car accident. And because of that, we all had to speak kind of loud all the time to him,
Mm.
right? We always had, because, he's hard of hearing. And it also made it easier when I went to theater school to learn how to be loud, to really project. Now, in this world of fascism where people like us are being told, shut the hell up, just go along, don't rock the boat, just, don't feel things, is that first off, there's two things. My body is literally like, I don't think so. I don't think so. My body is always screaming right now because of the chronic pain, because my nervous system, it really is a reflection of how things are. My nervous system has always been like that. So every time I see something really scary on social media or whatever, or like there's another, tipping point that we're meeting again, like there's so many tipping points, like environmentally, politically, everything we are going downhill and knowing like having that like, it really goes through my body and it shows up in intense inflammation, brain fogginess, just like pain. It just shows up in pain. And what I'm learning right now, so I'm in a period of learning where my pain in my brain is being processed the same, like physical pain is being processed in the same place as emotional pain. So if that is the case, it means that I have to move this emotion through my body. And so I've had to really learn how to, in a very grounded way, how do I rage healthfully, right? I try to rage at least once every day. So I put on some ragey music and I really shake it out. I really imagine me like physically righting wrongs, knocking over desks, doing that Beyonce with a baseball bat, going through, crashing things. I'm not hurting anybody. It's all in my mind, but I get the same release that somebody has taking a baseball bat to someone's car because
Mm.
I've got it in my mind. I'm doing it. I'm letting that rage go. It also comes out when I am leading protest chants because there are people who are going said to me, "Holy shit! I've never heard someone this loud before without a a
But
megaphone." Because I don't need a megaphone. Like that entire law of like, oh, you can't use a megaphone. You're going to be charged with being a nuisance and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, good luck. Cause I don't need it. I don't need a megaphone. And so I've led protest chants and I can go on for hours. And that's the gift that spirit gave me, is that I will let that rage go through me because I'm holding the rage of millions of people who are being mistreated and being dehumanized. So I really channel that through. I let it move through my body. And just like how it is in Reiki, where you're just feeling like this river of energy going through your body, I just let it rip. And it feels good. It feels good to know that I can remind people that they have that rage too, because fascism tells us stop feeling things, stop feeling. And my body will not stop feeling. I am going to keep on feeling and I'm going to keep on raging because I will not obey. I will not obey. I will not allow fascism to take over my body. And my only wish right now is that, like, I just want to be able to die with dignity. If it means that I'm going to lose everything, like all of this, like, privilege of, that was given to me because of the success of the book, success of the film. If I end up getting, like, I hate this word, but blacklisted, because of, my my activism, it doesn't matter, because what matters is I still have connections to people. I still have a legacy of friendship with you, with, like, my other chosen family members. I got that, and I got my rage, my sacred rage. So, yeah, so that's, like, the impact that I have is that, I want people to see what an example is of continuing to be human, of continuing to feel, and continuing to believe that something better is, it
Thank you. I love how you said sacred rage.
yes. Yes. I mean, do you do rage work at all? Do you ever do it?
Yeah. You know what? After having that conversation with you a couple weeks ago, I realized, oh, yeah, like the rage has always been there, but like growing up, I never had a place to put it because I was always in fear of if I did rage, what would happen. And I also saw what rage looked like in a negative way and how it could hurt people. So I always suppressed it, which is not good, of course. And for you to say sacred rage, I think that's beautiful because I think I didn't really start to realize, when you're becoming whole, it's not just all of the pretty positive stuff. It's also the dark stuff. It's the shadow work. It's the rage, it's the anger, it's the fear, it's all of that
Mhm.
stuff. And when you encompass it into one, that's you as a human, right? Then for me to put it into like my being and my spirit, I now have moments where I will put on like a ragey song and I'll dance.
Oh, good.
And then when I dance at the end, I'll usually cry it out because I'm so like the energy is so
Yes.
there that like it's almost like a collapse and I'll like just cry. It just it's like soothing. So I love how you said that sacred rage because I think a lot of people suppress it or
Mhm.
like you said, you know, people out there say you're not allowed to, you shouldn't, it's not right. We gotta just follow, the norm, and that isn't normal to follow
No.
God. We're human, and I think especially too as women, we have every right to rage because as a mom, yeah, man, we're gonna rage when we're seeing other children being mistreated in ways that they shouldn't.
Exactly.
That's really fucked up to me, and yeah, I wanna rage on people. I wanna
Yes.
rage on the system, I wanna rage on this world, like, "What the fuck? Why is all that shit happening?" But if the only way that I can do it, like what you said, you do it through protesting, I do it through sharing messages, I do it through, like, creativity, I do it through movement, any which way that I can do it to continue to heal myself, it really helps. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that though, that the entire thing of there's a rage and that goes through its own arc, right?
Mm.
Of, like, for me, I shake because I do somatic shaking to sort of get the rage out, and I also mime me doing shit, Obviously, no one's getting hurt, right? But then there's the after, which is, what those rage rooms where people are, like, beating up, like a chair, or, like, they're punching in televisions or whatever, because there's, like, it's now a business, right? These rage rooms, is that what they're not understanding is that there's also grief. So after that rage wall has been beaten down by you shaking or dancing as you're doing, right? Is that what you're mentioning is so smart, is that your body's like, now I'm ready to grieve. Because you need to grieve. There are things that part of the rage is that I can't change some of these things right now by myself. And I can't change the past. I can change the future, but I can't change the past. And there are so many people that have been hurt already that grief is real. It is so real. And so I'm glad that you're letting it move through you. That's your body is so smart.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Catherine, you got to come back on. I love these type of conversations.
I love it. The only thing that was missing is that we weren't eating.
Right? Okay, so the next one we got to do like in person. I guess.
Yes. Oh my gosh. No, I mean, well, this is the thing is that I'm hoping to move back to Toronto at some point, and we have to make that happen. I just because like that's the thing. One of the things I'm looking forward to going back to Toronto is seeing you more regularly and and yeah, having more of these conversations for sure. Yeah.
We used to break bread a lot together, and now we do it when we can. But every time
Yes.
we get together, it's like chicken noodle soup.
It is. It is. It is. Especially
Oh,
when there's no kids. Let's just be honest.
right? Anybody asks me, you want to go out? Are there kids involved? No, I'm there. I'm 100% because those conversations are so meaningful. I'm not distracted by
Yes.
people coming and asking me for something. I have nobody picking out my plate. Like I just get to enjoy
Just be you.
yeah, and being in the presence of people who I love and care for. And it feels reciprocal. It feels like my cup is already full, but it overflows and then it just feels good. Feels good.
I love it. Yes, please to more of this.
Definitely. How can people continue to connect with you and find you? And if they haven't read the book or I don't know what they're doing, they need to have already read that book. I also want to mention that like the book is in schools. So like
Yes.
my daughter's like, that's my auntie. Like I had a part to play in that. Instead of like, y'all know, she will always be like, that was my debut into wherever she goes in life.
Love that.
That will always be her, like, her point. That's it right there. It's pinned forever.
Oh my gosh, I love that Kiori was part of that for like the when we were doing the sizzle reel as they call it, just so that we can get the funding for the show. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you were involved with like the making of that film. It makes me like makes my heart grow a couple sizes. But yeah, people can learn about me. Maybe Instagram is the best place to find me, and that's at Legs Hernandez. So LegsHernandez is probably the best place to see most updated information on me.
Catherine, guys, please, you're going to love this episode from beginning to end. Continue to follow those that come on. Catherine's an amazing person, amazing soul, amazing spirit. I love her. This is the Ultimate Human Experience podcast. We are out. Peace.
Peace.